Zhuangzi's Fables and Their Wisdom, Module 1, Introduction. Lesson 3, The Book of Zhuangzi. Part 1, Introduction of the Book of Zhuangzi. Hi, welcome to our lecture. Previously, we have talked about Zhuangzi's life story. Now we will continue to introduce the most critical part, that is the Book of Zhuangzi, i.e. the Zhuangzi or the Book of Zhuangzi for short. We try to bring a general picture of the book to you with Zhuangzi's best friend Hui Shi. Hui Shi is also called Hui Zi or Master Hui for respect. Hui Zi is an outstanding Chinese philosopher who is best known for his 10 paradoxes. Zhuangzi once mentioned that Hui Shi was the only one that he could really talk to. Indeed, Zhuangzi and Hui Shi are just like the best friends that we all have. They couldn't get through a day without arguing and debating. Yet Hui Shi is Zhuangzi's real bosom friend.
Hi, I'm Hui Shi. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very pleased to introduce the book Zhuangzi to you.
Let's have a closer look at the book Zhuangzi. The Book of Zhuangzi is also known as the Nanhua Chenzhen. It was named after the primary author, Zhuangzi, Master Zhuang. The book Zhuangzi is one of the most important masterpieces in Taoism. It is even regarded as more comprehensive than Tao Te Ching or Tao Te Ching. The book Zhuangzi is composed of small verses, poems, and fables, just a few sentences long each. Though the book was named after Zhuangzi, Zhuangzi did not complete the entire book. Instead, it is a collection of several distinctive lines of Taoist thoughts. Guo Xiang in the Jin dynasty first edited and arranged an early collection of 33 chapters. The first 7 chapters, or the inner chapters, are considered to be part of the original work. The remaining 26 chapters are divided into 15 outer chapters and 11 miscellaneous chapters. All the chapters are dated to be written before 200 BC. It was generally agreed that chapters 1 through 7, or the inner chapters, are the genuine writings of Zhuangzi himself, while the remaining 26 chapters, or the outer chapters, are primarily written by his disciples, followers, and even some anonymous authors.
Let me tell you something about how this book came to be. My best friend, Zhuangzi, is a person who enjoys discussions very much. Thus, the writings of the Zhuangzi are typically brief discussions or exchanges between 2 points of view. There are also a lot of natural and imaginary creatures involved in the fables. For example, some characters in the stories are animals, real or fictional fish, birds, and snakes, a talking skull, the wind, musicians, debaters, tigers, trainers, butchers, butterflies, burglars, and the like. Most commonly, you would find the characters in a story may make their points by having the 2 parties walking away, shaking their heads, agreeing only to disagree. When I have a discussion with Zhuangzi, I might not agree with him at the end, yet I do appreciate his ideas, feeling that I learn a lot from all the dialogue.
I agree that the Book of Zhuangzi is full of fascinating and romantic stories. It is regarded as one of the earliest novels in Chinese history. It has exerted great influence among the creation of novels, especially in the Ming and Qing dynasties.
I'm very glad to hear that. Can you cite some examples? Which novel specifically?
The Dream of the Red Chamber, which is also named The Story of the Stone, is the most vivid example. The characters in The Dream of the Red Chamber read the book Zhuangzi and sing very high praise of it. Jia Bo Yu, the main character in Dream of the Red Chamber, often turns to the Zhuangzi for comfort in his despair of life. Xiao Shuqing, the author of Dream of the Red Chamber, especially cherish the naturalism and freedom of Zhuangzi. Part 2. A Chinese Classic for the World. In this lesson, I want to share with you how the book Zhuangzi is widely appreciated in the world through its translation. The book Zhuangzi is of high literary quality and globally recognized as one of the great classics of the Chinese literary tradition, with its translations. Its global recognition inevitably owes the credit to the translations. The writing in the Zhuangzi is regarded as both deeply insightful in thought and as an achievement of the Chinese poetical essay form.
I think this is something really unbelievable. The style of the book is complex, mythical, poetic, narrative, humorous, indirect, and polysemic. Readers of the book inevitably have to struggle with the difficulties to fully understand it. It must be extremely challenging to put it into another language.
Indeed, the text of Zhuangzi is ranked among the greatest of the literary and philosophical masterpieces that China has produced. The book Zhuangzi uses the Chinese language in complex, multi-layered, and often playful ways, and is regarded as extremely difficult to translate. Nevertheless, some sinologists have made early efforts to provide their translations of the book Zhuangzi. As early as in 1881, the Divine Classic of Nanhua was published in Shanghai and Hong Kong as the first attempt to translate the book Zhuangzi. In 1889, the first complete English translation of all the 33 chapters came into being, i.e., Zhuangzi, mystic, moralist, and social reformer. This is also the book that has actually introduced the Zhuangzi into the English-speaking countries. Since then, the Zhuangzi has become popular globally. The translations of Zhuangzi are even favored by some very famous writers and philosophers in the Western world, such as Oscar Wilde and Martin Buber. Among all the existing translations, they have varied features. Graham's translation is, to date, the most academically. Watson's translation is highly praised for its poetic style, and Marr's translation also has its highlights, including his decision to translate the poetic parts of the text into English poetry.
This is really something beyond our imagination. Please tell me something more.
Furthermore, the Zhuangzi attracts lots of modern Western readers with its thorough naturalism, philosophical subtlety, and sophisticated humor. They are all set in a distinct, exotic, and appealing context, just like the enormous oceans mentioned in the Book of Zhuangzi. Philosophically, the Book of Zhuangzi strikes the Western readers in a similar way as the Western philosophical builders like Plato, Aristotle, or Kant. They believe that the ancient wisdom of Chinese Taoist philosophy provides a good choice in the modern era, since it emphasizes the value of naturalness and simplicity, which are complementary to the Western philosophy of materialism. Part 3. Philosophy for Everyone. The book Zhuangzi has exerted great influence on the development of Buddhism and Chinese philosophy. Unlike the book Tao Te Ching, which addresses the sage ruler, the Zhuangzi primarily concerns the individual's private life, free, humble, and mindful. In a word, it's a book for you and I. It covers topics that everyone encounters, like health and death, pains and gains. The wisdom contained in them is unbound and timeless, serving as a way of spiritual illumination for almost everyone, both Western and Eastern, Taoist or otherwise.
Mostly, as a petty official in a small town, Zhuangzi didn't have a high official rank. Yet I admired his literary and philosophical talent, which was best shown in his fables. Indeed, the most fascinating part of the book Zhuangzi is the fables in it. In order to explain his thought more clearly, Zhuangzi tried to give a number of vivid illustrations from everyday life, such as the fabled cook Ding carving the ox, who devoted himself to Tao and worked with his mind instead of his eyes. However, Zhuangzi also tried to elaborate his grand ambition of pursuing the ultimate Tao in the fables, such as the ambition of Kun Peng and Zhuangzi's three swords.
I quite agree. Taoist teachings in the Book of Zhuangzi are intended to be utilized as a guide to daily living. Their greatest value lies in their ability to direct us towards our own process of self-exploration, growth, and transformation, which connects our inner selves to the world around us. It is vividly exhibited in the book that Taoism has the great appeal. It represents a way of connectedness, harmony, and balance, and its way of naturalness and simplicity for everyday life. Currently, many of us experience stress and difficulties in our life. As we deal with challenges on personal, local, or global levels, we naturally seek solutions that will restore us to a more balanced, harmonious, and satisfying way of living. By recognizing and learning to follow the essence of the Tao, we are able to gradually align ourselves with this great universal flow of energy. We learn to go with the flow. While this is a lifelong process, every step along the way connects us more intimately with our true nature through the Tao. This is why the book Zhuangzi is considered to be a philosophy for everyone, and that's the true wisdom we are trying to share with you in this course.